Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, public servants have declared today a national day of action and are leading a march demanding a double-digit wage increase. The 7-day ultimatum given to government by the public sector has officially lapsed. This following a deadlock in wage negotiations between trade unions and the state. Our reporter Heidi Giokos brings us the very latest from Johannesburg. Good morning, Heidi. How are the numbers looking there where you are?
Yes, indeed, Mfundo. I think we'll start seeing more numbers coming through at around 10 o'clock. That's when the march is expected to start from this particular point to National Treasury. We do understand that this time around it's not just the Public Servants Association, but a number of other unions, including COSATU. We do know Nahawu will be here, FEDUSA, SAFTU, COSATU, as I mentioned, PSA, and a number of other unions to show their seriousness about the fact that they want that 10% wage increase. So it seems as though the numbers have already started coming in. As you can see, my colleague Deboko is showing you how people have already started gathering and marching, blocking off quite a main road here in Pretoria. But we are going to try and engage with Nahawu. We are going to be joined by the Deputy Secretary General, December Mabuso. Hello, thank you so much for joining us. You're from Nahawu. Maybe just speak to us about this very important march that you have embarked on together with a number of other unions. You're demanding 10%. Do you think you're going to get it? You're demanding 10%. Do you think you're going to get it?
Well, that's our demand. Obviously, when you are in negotiations, it's a question of compromises, engaging one another. As long as workers receive inflation-related increase, so that the value of their pay packets is not eroded by inflation. We know that in July, there was a spike in inflation to just over 7%. 3% is really next to nothing. So that's why we want an improvement to the offer, and the government must come back to the negotiations so that we settle this dispute properly.
To bring out the necessary numbers to prove a point to government and to basically shut the country down, as many unions have come out, including Nahawu, which is a critical service?
No doubt, workers are coming. Even in other provinces, not just here, but the one here in Pretoria, we expect it to be the biggest. But there's a similar action in Durban, in Mpumalanga, and everywhere. So workers are ready. The numbers that must be calculated must be based on the holistic approach in the country. But the streets of Pretoria today are going to be painted red.
I want to ask you one last question. Government says they do not have money to increase wages by 10%. Do you think that's true, and what is your response to that?
Well, we don't believe that. The problem in this country is the austerity program that government is implementing. And austerity means cut on spending. They're cutting on spending on everything, not just on the salaries of workers, but also on the public services. If you cut spending on health, you cut spending on education and so on, you are creating a problem in the country. So there is money. We don't believe that there's no money, but the neoliberal program of austerity that's implemented by government is creating problems.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll see the numbers coming through. That is December Mabuso, who is the Deputy Secretary General from Nahawu. And it's interesting that Nahawu is also here, Mfundo, because the previous march that took place last week, we were told that critical services such as healthcare would not be disrupted, but it seems as though union members of Nahawu have decided to join in. So we'll probably be seeing more people coming through, but it's interesting that you hear Nahawu saying that they don't believe that government does not have money and that government should be looking after its workers and give that 10% increase. Government has, of course, said they do not have capacity or fiscal resources to do so.